Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Brown and sorry, that was your show. Welcome to the Land Sports Show. I'm your co-host Clarence Wilson, and with me is my old co-host from Brown and Orange Weekly, my man, that guy, James Elfritz. What's up, man?
We're pumping some life back in the old Brown and Orange Weekly tonight. We know that's going to be basically the dominant topic of our conversation, even though we are covering all things Cleveland sports here on the Land Sports Show. But, it's a tough question to ask how I'm doing because I'm actually doing kind of okay. But I think as we start talking and getting more in depth of yesterday's game, it might be tough. It's going to be a tough show tonight. But we're going to serve up lots of reality tonight.
Yeah. Browns lose 33-17 to Dallas Cowboys in the season opener. It wasn't even that close. Let's just be honest. Anybody who watched it, I was there, unfortunately. Paid a lot of money to watch that shit performance. It was terrible. That's just all that I can say about it. We're gonna, kind of obviously dive into things, but the offense didn't look great. The defense did, I guess, what they could, but they didn't look all that good. Looks like the only person who came to play might have been the kick returner. Again, the defense on that first series, that I thought we were gonna smash these dudes when we got the big sack by Tomlinson, but it's just it's a good thing that we've had this overnight period because we were on the text thread last night and I was ready to go at 7:00, and it would have been ugly. It would have been ugly.
It'd have been raw, real raw.
Yeah, that's just getting out of the Uber, still feeling that pissed off buzz of watching what I watched. It'd have been super raw. Your initial thoughts, man? I had to go back and watch it again, because obviously being in the stadium watching the game.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I get it. It was week one, right? So, of course, we're all in overreaction mode. But it was ugly. It's kind of what we thought after not seeing many of the starters in the preseason. And you and I both hate the preseason. Many people hate the preseason. But I think as a coaching staff, you got to know if your players are ready or not. And the thing I keep leaning back into that had any value whatsoever during camp was when they had the not scrimmage, but whatever the hell it was, when they played the Vikings.
Joint practice.
Yeah.
Joint practice.
And it's a practice. But still, that I remember, a lot of people don't like Darryl Ryder, but I remember him making the comment that either both these defenses are really good or both these offenses are really bad at that time. And I think the Vikings might have even had J.J. McCarthy still at that time. Didn't? Mm-hmm. I forget when his injury was.
I want to say, yeah.
But regardless, to hear that, the offense isn't clicking and the offense isn't, from, I think it was Njoku that commented that this is taught when somebody asked him about this offensive playbook that it's juicy, real juicy. Well, you know what? It was definitely juicy to the Cowboys yesterday because they chewed us all up and made our offense look absolutely terrible yesterday. Of course, you got to start at the line of scrimmage, the offensive line and their struggles. No Jack Conklin yesterday, no Jed Wills. But Clarence, I don't understand how we were just manhandled so much at the line of scrimmage to start there. What happened? What did you see? Could you, even just from the stadium, on TV, it was easy to see. But at the stadium, did you have any kind of different view that we didn't have?
No, it was, to be honest with you, sitting in the stadium, and I was up high enough. I was closer to God than I was the field where my seats were at. um, it This looked like the same offense that they ran in 2021. And it looked like, to be quite honest with you, it looked like that was Baker Mayfield out there. There were guys open. He missed them. Didn't hit them at all, or just straight up overthrew them. There were guys open. Anybody telling me, like, being on social media today, it was laughable with everybody's like, oh, well, yeah, we saw that he was kind of open, but I'm not screenshot guy. Muff, you were screenshot guy when Baker was not hitting these guys. So don't try and change up now. You were screenshot guy when Baker was not hitting open dudes. Now all of a sudden I'm not screenshot guy. Get out of here. Missed opportunities yesterday, left and right. Dude's wide open, or he completed a pass that out that was 8 yards out of bounds to CeeDee Lamb sitting on the sideline. He was overthrowing dudes. There's nothing about this offense that looked any different than what they ran with Baker Mayfield. And this is the second offseason now that they said that they revamped this thing. They said they revamped it at the end of the 2022 season to make it more friendly for Watson. Then they brought in they gutted everybody, which I thought was weird. I did think was weird. And they bring in Dorsey, and they say, "Oh, we're doing this offense again. We're revamping it again." It looked like the same shit I've been watching for the last 3 years. Deshaun Watson has looked no better than he did in Game 11 of 2022. There's been no change in his play to this Game 1 right now. We've gotten one fucking half, of good football play for what we paid for. I'll say we, because you know what? My ticket was expensive as shit. My ticket was expensive as hell. So yes, for what we've paid for, it has not been there. It has not been there. I'm pissed off still just thinking about it, because there's been no difference in the play that we've seen. Like I said, Game 11, his very first game when he came in against the Texans, to now, what's changed? What has changed? The offensive line, we can talk about that all day long. You know what? I was listening to some stuff earlier that he basically had time back there, but he was holding the ball. Same shit that people used to say about Baker. Oh, he's got the time. He's right there. He's just holding the ball. Well, we're watching it over again. Yep, Patton. So I'm confused as to what this offense is. I'm confused as to what changes have been made, because it literally looks like the same shit. The only difference is that since we don't have but 2 tight ends on the on the line, on the roster, we can't run the Stefanski 3 tight end stuff, because we only got 2 of them. But outside of that, I don't know what's changed in this offense over pretty much since Baker left. I don't know.
Well, for yesterday, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If you or I were the offensive coordinator and you had all off season to prepare for the Cowboys, and your play calling yesterday, and the offensive line can't hold the line of scrimmage, they can't run block, can't get Jerome Ford going, can't get Pierre Strong and his few carries going, even though he had, he's our guy, right? So 2 attempts for 10 yards, 5-yard average, yay. But Jerome Ford, 12 carries for 44 yards, 3.7 yards, and a last minute touchdown during scrub time. With that offensive line not being able to, give Watson time, but then also, like you said, if he's patting the ball, and I heard Joe Thomas talk on the radio today, talking about Tom Brady, and when he played, offensive linemen loved to block for him because they knew where he was going to be in the pocket. And with Deshaun, there are times where, and I'm going to go back a little bit to Butch Davis and Jeff Garcia, where Deshaun looks skittish in the pocket and he's escaping before he needs to. And could that be that he needed to take a few hits in preseason? I don't know. I don't know that means that wouldn't have fixed the offensive line yesterday. That wouldn't have gave him a run game. that wouldn't have gave the offense losing to Joku to an ankle yesterday. It was just a mess in general offensively. It was good to see Jerry Jeudy get in the end zone. Deshaun took that giant hit and almost hit Cooper on that touchdown. It seemed like Cooper, if he could have laid out for that, he would have caught that. But he was trying to catch back up to that ball, so I still give him credit. It still wouldn't have won us the game, but there just wasn't enough there. There's not the playmakers, from cover high school football, and you can look at a team and go, whoa, that kid's a difference maker. You can tell when he gets the ball, he's a little bit quicker, he's a little bit faster. And when schools have that, and then it's something they got to make sure they get him the ball. I don't know how many of those guys we have, Clarence. I honestly don't. If I know the Flacco's thing's going to come up and all that crap, but Joe hitting the Joku right where he needed to, in stride. And same with Cooper. I mean, some of that, I guess, that accuracy and hitting the receiver at the right time just goes a long way for all that yak that you can get. And we were just having a hard time making completions. So
here's my thing, and the way that I'm going to talk tonight, it's going to probably sound like I'm blaming this all on Watson, and it's not all his fault. It's not, but I'm tired of these people that have been talking out of each side of their mouth. Like I said, all these screenshot people, and all I heard was everything has to be perfect for Baker Mayfield to succeed, even though that wasn't even close to remotely true. Everything has to be perfect for Baker Mayfield to succeed. We need a guy that can come in and he can make guys around him better. And you know what? When things aren't perfect, he can come in and kind of cover up those warts. From what I saw and what I've seen, he hasn't made anybody better. So us talking about them not having the playmakers and whatnot, it's his job to make those guys into playmakers. We've talked about it before. Now, I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, but when he got traded here, everybody was like, "Oh, 2020, he was taking these guys, some of these terrible teams and Houston to new heights, and he was doing well and throwing for close to 5,000 yards and this, that, and the third." So people put him on that echelon of that, right below Patrick Mahomes, but right on that edge. That's not what we're getting. When he came in here, I don't care if he was thrown to my guy Frisman Jackson. He should be able to turn Frisman Jackson into something. He should be able to turn Elijah Moore into something. He should be able to give Jerry Jeudy the ball and have him be able to make a play. We're just not seeing that, and we haven't seen it. And that's why my frustration level is here. Because you know what? We've been forced to take this guy on who full disclosure, I wanted to draft him. Our draft that year could have been Myles Garrett and Deshaun Watson. That's what I wanted. So I thought he was going to be great. Fast forward to now, all the allegations, which there's another one that came out today that we'll have to discuss. But this guy was supposed to be that superstar, that guy who betters everyone, who takes everyone's game to the next level. And we're not seeing it.
And do you remember who he was compared to?
Yeah. Dabo Swinney said.
Dabo Swinney, his coach at Clemson.
Michael Jordan in cleats.
He is. And he is Michael Jordan. He is Michael Jordan in cleats. You know what? He's Michael Jordan, the Birmingham Barons baseball player, in cleats. Because Michael Jordan was horrible at baseball. And that's pretty much how Deshaun's playing right now. It's just, like I said, we're gonna punch him up some because he didn't play well. Did he have a lot of time? No. It was a tough day all around on the offense, but
he had enough. Though.
He had definitely,
he had enough. Everything that I've read today, and I'm not a big PFF guy because I don't believe in a lot of their stuff, but they were saying something to the effect of like he had the fourth or fifth most time in the pocket, whether it's being blitzed or whether he had a clean pocket to throw. So he's holding the ball, like Baker, like people accuse Baker of doing. So, what is the offense? What is the goal of the offense? And how the hell are they going to fix this? Because Jacksonville is not. It's not like they get. They had a whole offseason to prepare for one game, and they got their dicks kicked in. They only got 6 days to prepare for the next one. How do they fix it?
I don't know if the running game magically happens. I don't know that the protection gets better. There's just so many question marks, and I was more frustrated, I think, during training camp than I was maybe even yesterday, because yesterday just seemed like a carryover of what camp was. There just wasn't enough substance out there. I mean, it's almost like you got to go back and why don't you go on clevelandbrowns.com and why don't you go back and watch all the highlight videos from training camp when guys are running against air, throwing against air. Wow, it looks great. Put some music to it and some effects to it. It's all a bunch of horse shit. We know it's eye candy. It's enough just to suck Browns fans in to get excited for the season. I used to, bite that hook a lot more when I was younger. Now I don't. I'm just not going to do it. I can't imagine. I will. I want to give a lot of credit to, once again, all the Browns fans that show up, hell, on Friday night, sign up to go to the Muni lot. And I mean, we have such a sick fan base, and I say sick in a positive way, but also somewhat in a negative way too. Like, my God, I can't imagine how much money was spent. You have your story, but just there were some other people that spent some crazy money over this football team, between parking and gear and, people wrapping their vehicles with Browns gear. I mean, it's don't get me wrong, it's fun. I mean, if we didn't have that community of misery loves company, I don't know how the hell we'd get through this. But I can't imagine. Yeah. I know your wallet's a lot lighter.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, my wallet's a lot. Well, I was destined to sit this one out. I was like, you know what? Tickets are a little pricey. My streak might have to be broken because I'm just not really wanting to pay this much. My buddy called and he's like, all right, man, let's do it. And tickets were a little bit more than I wanted to pay. Well, they were a lot more than I wanted to pay. I'll just be honest. But that's because, I'm from this, the last 20, basically before Baker arrived. You go scalp tickets in the Muni lot. There's days where you could get, buy one, get one, for $20. It's different. It's a different time. It's a different period. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people down there. A lot of people gassed up. A lot of people spent a lot of money to try and come out and support this team. And for them to have an entire offseason and come out and put on that display, which was garbage. There's no words. I'm again, it's good we didn't go yesterday, but today I'm still just like, what the hell did I watch? What was that? On top of that, just real quick, and I'll let you go. The stadium was half Dallas fans. I would say every 5 to 10 seats there was a Dallas fan.
You can hear it on TV. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I sat in my seats as it was me and some 4 Browns fans this way, and then I'm sitting directly next to a Dallas fan and his girl right there. Directly.
And where were they from? Brecksville?
There were some people that were from Cleveland, but I mean, obviously Dallas travels well. That was another shocker to me. I'm used to it from Pittsburgh fans. I mean, it's 2 hours away. But this stadium, I would say 30% Cowboys fans. Maybe not that high, but there was a lot of them there. There was a lot of Cowboys fans there.
Yeah, you definitely heard them on TV. I mean, multiple times, especially as the game got longer and the lead got bigger. I mean, you can thank the NFL for that, right? So growing the game, you can thank gambling for that. You can thank fantasy football for that. Merchandise sales, because Cowboys gear looks pretty sweet, right? With the blue colors and the silver. So I don't know. I don't know that it's ever going to be like old school 80s where it's pretty much dominant Cleveland fans ever again. I don't think the game's built that way now. It's not marketed that way.
True.
And I watched from after halftime when they were kicking off for the second half, and I saw a ton of empty seats. Like, where is everybody in line getting beer and he's in the bathroom and at the concession? Is that what
Um,
happens? Is it just
th-
bad up there? I
there
haven't
was,
been to
I
a.
mean,
I honestly haven't been to a game for a minute.
it
So
was, but I mean, I'll tell you, a lot of people were leaving. A lot of people were pissed
you're
off.
kidding me.
The- I remember I sat up there. This is before halftime, and I was watching people kind of trickle out. Watching people trickle out. I mean, and
It was
like I wasn't going to, but I'm not mad at them for it. Like I said, you wait all off season to see that. To see that. That game was over in the first half. It was done. It was just a
20-3
formality.
was the halftime score.
Yeah, it was over.
So I get it. It's a little bit, right? So 4:25 start. People been there since the break of dawn, right? Partying out in the parking lot. So maybe part of that, you know what? I wouldn't do it, but yeah, I kind of get it, I guess, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling nobody how to fan, but again, you, I got down to Muni probably about 10 about 11:30. I think I got down there. I got down to Muni. Um, Place was rocking as usual. I was kind of shocked to hear that. Well, I heard Spider was there, and then he was like, "Oh, Miles Garrett's there." And I, what? What is Miles Garrett's at the Muni?
Right.
And then I heard Delpit was there as well, which I thought that was a nice touch. But then you don't come out and put on that performance as a team. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just. It's got to get better. It's game one, but I just would have thought that again with an entire offseason worth of preparation, we would know what this team was going to look better. We would think that the team's going to look better than this. I got to ask you, like, from this offense, like, what is the offense? What do you see as the offense? Because I didn't see a lot of that RPO stuff they talked about. You said, I think you said this year that Njoku called it juicy. Last year he said it was going to be special. Watson said it's going to be a movie. All this wild shit that these dudes have been talking, and this offense has looked like ass. So where do you see the offense going? Like, or what do you think it is?
It's, I guess, the call to the bullpen, the Emmanuel Clase that we're going to have to do is make the call to the sideline for Nick Chubb when he's finally healthy, because he's probably the only one that's going to be able to bring balance to this offense. If we cannot get the run game going, they're just going to keep teeing off on Deshaun. I mean, and they better get it together, because this is the part of the schedule that they need to get some wins above losses, with at Jacksonville, the Giants, at the Raiders, at Washington, and then you're up against the Eagles, and then you're getting into division games, and then Jim Harbaugh and his LA Chargers. They start at November. So this beginning of the schedule is where we've talked about they need to get off to a good start, and they showed us nothing yesterday. So it is 1 week, but we all know how it goes with this team. My concerns, and I try to forward think a long, long ways. And I think both of you and I have enjoyed watching some college football to start this year. And we've watched I know I've watched a little bit inside the NFL, some College Game Day, because I'm going to tell you right now, as the season gets longer and you have teams that are going to start, having 0-4 schedule or records or really bad records this season, with Nick Saban and Bill Belichick being out there, there's going to be owners ready to make the payments to get those guys on their sideline. I am honestly concerned, even with the extensions for Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, if this season does not go well, and the way Jimmy Haslam has no problem spending money, the wheels could come off this really quick. Now, I hope we can turn this around, but during our preview, when we played the stupid schedule game, where I was at about 9 wins, and that's an optimistic 9 wins with this schedule. And I don't know if you remember, was it 88? Marty Schottenheimer was fired. And then going into 89 season was Bud Carson's first. I don't think anybody's seen the Marty Schottenheimer firing coming.
No.
So owners can just make knee-jerk reactions, and we know the Haslam Group will spend money. I am not throwing Kevin Stefanski under the bus. I like what he's done for the Cleveland Browns, but like I said, future thinking and forward thinking on this, I have some concerns for these guys, even though they brought some stability to the franchise.
Quick, so kind of in that same vein, like how long? Because you're right, everybody just got signed to extensions. Jimmy Haslam has come out and said that that the whole Deshaun Watson thing is that it's basically him. He guaranteed this money, so he kind of pushed this move through. So that being said, how long do you think the leash is on Watson? Like I'm not one of those guys who think this is yesterday's game. That's who he is. And he can't get any better this year. That's not what I'm saying. But we got to look at this realistically. We've seen, like I said in the beginning, we've seen one good half, man. One good half in all the entire time he's been here. What if this is who he is? What if he never gets back to that 2020 guy, which has been my biggest fear in this entire deal?
And I'm glad you brought up that one good half in Baltimore. His stats were terrible in the first half. Terrible. And I don't even know that he started out red hot in the third quarter. I think it was not even a full 2 quarters. So, but you also have to remember, see if you can remember back, Baltimore last year started going through a stretch where they were blowing leads in the second half. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't just a Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson hot thing. It was a kind of thing Baltimore was struggling with their defense in general, no matter who they were playing. So, yeah, sure, Deshaun's got to go out there and do it, but Baltimore had their own struggles at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm. So how long do you think the leash is? I mean, they let him run 8 games playing something similar to this, 9 games before they do anything.
It all depends on the record. I think that's it. It all depends on the record. You start losing some of these games that you should win, which I know it's any given Sunday in the NFL, but I'm trying to look back to the schedule. I know Jacksonville, the Giants game at home. My gosh, if that's even a game, I'm concerned because you and I have talked about that road defense last year. And how much better are we this year when we gave up like 31.3 points a game on the road defensively? That we'll see how we do in Jacksonville. So we imagine going 0-2, and then we got the Giants staring us finally at home, because after that you got 3 straight road games at Las Vegas in the West Coast. At that 4:25 start. And then you got Washington, and then at Philadelphia. 3 straight road games. So we better get our shit right.
And that's the thing, can we? Yesterday is not the end of the season. Everybody's a little angry. I'm not gonna lie, I am, because you wait all off season and you get that. And it's not like things can't be fixed, but what if they don't get fixed? Like, what if we are dealing with a situation where Watson is broken and he'll never be that guy that he was in 2020, and we are stuck with him playing like this? The Browns fans, please don't get it twisted. I've been pulling for this dude to play well since the moment he got here. Outside of all the extraneous stuff that's on the outside, I'm a Browns fan and I want to see the team succeed. So
and we all Clarence, we proved that last year on the sick fan base that we are, that How many times Joe Flacco killed us, and next thing you know, he's the second favorite quarterback in Cleveland under Bernie Kosar in the last 40 years.
Right. Like,
and all he did is win. What do you win? 4 or 5 games, maybe?
Yeah, I think he won 4 or 5 games through played in 6 through 10 interceptions. I want to say in those 6 games, but
yeah,
he brought some excitement to the team and got us to the playoffs. Like we're not asking for everything. We're not asking for a lot, but when you take a guy with the baggage that Watson has, and you bring him in here, and you force feed him to the fans, he's got to perform. And period, point blank. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Whether you believe the allegations are true or not, they are there. And there's a lot of people who are going to feel some kind of way about having this guy as our quarterback. So if they make the move and kind of split this fan base, even more than they were split when Baker was here, but this one's on just a whole morality, personal level, not, this guy's not the whole Baker situation where people thought that, he was an arrogant punk or whatever. This is a whole nother type deal. So you bring that kind of guy in here, he's got to win. And he's got to look decent while doing it. And again, I keep saying it. Week 11, 2022 to week 1, 2024, I've not seen much of any kind of drastic change in the play that we've seen from him outside of that half. So I need some answers.
So if you want to get into his allegation that came out today, before you do that, if you decide to, I'm going to take this. Man, I'm going to take this. I think about Cam Newton, and I know Dorsey was his OC during one of his the one MVP year. Is that correct? He was his OC, Cam Newton for Carolina. I'm going to say that the way Cam Newton fell off, it just feels like that's what Cam's doing. For completely maybe different reasons, but Cam got beat up pretty bad too, had some injuries. I don't know if it's Deshaun just can't come back from these injuries. Stefanski was asked at the press conference today, can he make those throws that he needs to? Hell, he was airmailing balls out of bounds yesterday, way over guys' heads. So it seemed like the arm strength was there, but the accuracy wasn't. It was just let it rip and get rid of it. So I'm concerned that kind of like the Cam Newton type route where he's just never going to bounce back. But then also, nobody's brought this up, and I'm kind of tie this story together a little bit. Tiger Woods. When Tiger Woods was living that life and had all these women all throughout the country and being the nature boy.
Woo!
Yep. And spending and doing what he was doing, then when he got busted, it was a different ball game. Now, there was no allegations of sexual assault, just cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Infidelity. But the point being is that when a lot of that sex went away, it seemed like the mojo went away a little bit too. Of course, he crashed his car into a tree. Didn't she chase him with a golf club or something? And then he also had that accident later on. You know what I mean? Where he got injured. And he's just never been the same. Is that where we're at? Is the mojo gone? Have the injuries just taken its toll on him? Or is it just never been between his ears? Is he not getting, because he's definitely not getting better with age and experience.
No. I mean, you bring up an interesting point. Like, the whole Tiger thing is wild. Like, it is. Like, once all the infidelity stuff went away, he just wasn't the same golfer. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not sure, but something is clearly changed because he's not that dude. And I feel like, as I said before, they revamped this offense twice in the last 2 off seasons. And I would imagine that they would have put in a lot of the stuff that he did in Houston where he was successful. That's what I would think that's what they would be doing. But we're not seeing it. We're not. It's not there. Nobody is going to sit here and tell me about, oh, well, Watson, this is what he was in 2020. This is not 2020. This is not 2020. So all this talk about he can do it, we're a season and a half basically in a brand new season and another off season into this, then we haven't seen any of that, any of it. So you might be onto something with that Tiger comparison. You very well might be. Now, granted, like you said, it's not.
Like I said, one thing, is sexual assault. Yeah. Another thing is infidelity.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm not trying to.
I'm talking about the mojo and the moxie.
Yeah. I'm not trying to compare the infidelities versus sexual assault because they are completely two different things. Both are awful. Just the sexual assault stuff is on a whole nother level. But again, he paid off, whatever. But just like you said, maybe the mojo part of it. I don't know. I really don't want to talk about this because I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Like I'm exhausted with this shit. But Watson, he was sued again today in Houston for sexual assault and battery and intentional infliction of emotional distress. I'm not going to get into all of the items that were discussed in the article. But this is different than the stuff that he was accused of before. The accusations seem a lot more malicious, and just for it to hit today, it's just like I don't know, man. I'm ready to get off this ride, man. This ride has not been what the hell I expected it to be.
I'm waiting for. Is there anybody that's going to come out that actually just went on a simple date with him?
Yeah.
And actually just had a date and nothing go wrong. Allegedly, right? All these alleged things that's happened to him.
Yeah. I mean, his girlfriend seem to be madly in love or whatever it might be, but I don't know. I didn't want any of this shit. Like, and people, obviously everyone's talking about, Baker and what he did and, how he balled out yesterday. And we have this. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just, again, the sky's not falling. The season is not over, but this shit hurt a little bit yesterday. Like, this is not, there's no more excuses. So we can't call rust. We can't call, any of that BS because, again, Flacco killed the rust shit last year by coming off the couch and balling out. So we're not calling rust. There's no excuses. No excuses.
Joe Flacco's couch is the greatest couch in the history of couches.
Bruh.
Number 2 is Tim Couch.
Maybe that's what he needs. Maybe Watson needs to go sleep on Flacco's couch for a little bit and maybe get.
That's what I said. Remember, I said Jameis went to his house and probably bought it at his garage sale, at Flacco's garage sale. Jameis would be ready to go. Now, think about that, and that's what we have to do, Clarence. Don't we have to be kind of devil's advocate in the situation? And I want to talk about other players than just Deshaun because if you put Jameis back there, and Jameis does not move very much. We talked about Flacco being a statue. Jameis does not move well at all. How many picks does he throw yesterday? How many times did he get sacked? So that's what I'm trying to say. If you switch quarterbacks, how different would it have been? I'm just saying based on our roster now. I'm not saying if you could bring Tom Brady out of the booth, we might have had a little life because he's going to make different checks. You probably didn't hear, unless during the rewatch of the game, about where the one ball was thrown on the hot blitz. He threw it to the to Diggs' side instead of trying to throw it to the rookie corner. Those are things that Brady already knows pre-snap. It's like where he's going to go with that, and if that's your better option. And then how about Watson holding onto the ball at 4th and 5? It just took a sack. Didn't even try to throw it up yesterday. God, I want to talk about somebody else.
Here's the thing about Jameis, though. Jameis, he gonna throw 3 picks. Well, he gonna throw you 4 touchdowns. He's gonna match you. He's gonna match. He's gonna go 1 for 1 touchdowns or picks. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like you said, I want to talk about someone else. The defense wasn't poor, but like they weren't great. I do think the game plan with Stefanski, it just didn't look. Nothing looked new. Nothing looked shiny. Nothing looked like this is something that we've been working on that's been different from that we ran from the time that Baker was here all the way to now. Like nothing has looked different. So I think the coaching and the game plan was off. Trying to run the ball, they got to try more. I just feel like they didn't even make the effort to run the ball, and it almost, it looked like that those Stefanski Flacco offenses last year. Remember, we would talk about it and be like, they're not trying to run the ball, but they're winning games. Well, that shit doesn't look like it's going to fly this year so far. Now, granted, Dallas is a playoff team. Maybe this will work against Jacksonville or Giants or something like that, but I don't know. I'm trying to get away from the Watson stuff, but the whole thing about this dude being the guy who can raise the talent of everyone around him, the adult in the room, the guy who doesn't need everything around him to be perfect, to be successful. Like the fact that it's not that we're not seeing it, we're not even seeing glimpses of that shit. I cannot get away from talking about this dude.
Well, we could talk about all the penalties yesterday.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, we were talking about the defense too, but when I was looking at the stats here, time of possession, the Browns only had, it was about just a minute more. So 30 minutes, 54 seconds versus 29:06. Total yards. How close do you think the total yards were? Roughly.
Without looking, well, actually, because I saw some of it last night. I know they were fairly close.
Yeah, 265 Dallas, 230 Cleveland. The passing yards, Dak at 163, Watson at 137. I mean, it's ugly both sides. Rushing 102 to Dallas for 93 for us. First downs were both 15 apiece. Penalties were both 11 apiece. And then here we're back to this. Turnovers. We lost the turnover battle again with 2 turnovers, and they didn't turn the ball over at all. Sacks, we had 6. Dallas had 3. It seemed like it was a hell of a lot more than 3. Yeah. They sure had a lot of pressures, that's for sure. And then total plays, we had 70 versus their 60. So when you look at that, if I didn't even see the scoreboard, I would think it was closer.
Yeah, you would think, but on the field, we saw that shit. The game, 33-17, the game was not that close. Was not even that close. Browns got a mud hole stomped in their ass from the jump yesterday. From the jump. Oh, see, I'm still fired up. See.
So as soon as we go down, this is where my confidence level is in this team. As soon as we go down 2 scores, I think all of us are like, it didn't matter if it was first quarter. When are we coming back? How are we coming back? Is it likely that we can coach our way and execute our way back into this game? I just don't have that confidence. And another thing to think about is that you had Mike McCarthy on that sideline who was calling had a great game plan, trying to slow our pass rush down with runs and quick hitters to not allow our defensive line to get in there and just dominate. It's another Super Bowl winning coach that we lost to. And I think last year when we lost to frickin' Sean Payton and the Broncos, and Russell Wilson, also a Super Bowl winner, and we just couldn't overcome that shitty Broncos team. And here we go. Who do we play this week? Jacksonville? Who's their coach?
Oh, Dougie P.
Yeah, so he's won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, right?
Yeah, if we coach the Eagles to a Super Bowl and former Browns quarterback Doug Peterson. Thank you very much.
Right. But where's your confidence level? Just at the head coach and the quarterback. That's all. I think we could do that. I know our defense saved us last year with all the injuries at quarterback. I don't think our defenses can do that as a second year in a row.
No.
I don't think there's going to be enough gas in the tank. I think the new car smell for playing for Coach Schwartz, it will, I think, not last as long as it did last year.
Agreed.
These are my long-term, far-out vision concerns for this team. Not that we can't turn it around, but my confidence level is just not there.
I'm with you. I'm like, yesterday's performance was on a it was on like a 2022 level perform, like as far as like my confidence in Stefanski. Like, I've never thought that he's a bad coach. I just thought that sometimes he would just do shit that got in the way of the ultimate goal, which is winning. Going forward on fourth down and bringing in Jacoby to do quarterback sneaks when Deshaun Watson's in there, but never bringing in DTR, who can run, to do a sneak or any kind of QB run play when Jacoby was the starter. Like, all these little small things, like, I would get annoyed with. But he did well with Flacco and took us to the playoffs. But my confidence level, like after yesterday, it's not where it was before. It's not where it was when I woke up yesterday morning. I'll tell you that much. Not even close. Not even close. And my confidence in Watson, I don't know, man. Like, again, I just don't know that. I don't know that he's going to get back to what he was. Double R, what's up, man? Yeah, you damn right. The Browns were not playing Carolina, but they almost blew that shit. So it took a Cade York 58-yarder to save us the embarrassment of being beat by the guy that we let walk. So, Ruben, he's right. Cowboys saw the film of what the Texans did in the playoffs. Quick passes, chip blocking on Miles, and Z, and misdirection plays. No, you're right. It wasn't all the offensive line. Again, I don't believe in everything that Pro Football Talk says, but it seemed like he had some time back there. And again, all them screenshot heroes during the Baker era of, this guy's wide open over here, Baker can't hit him. Where you at today? Where you at today? I got nothing else, man. I'm just getting more picks.
We got one more comment here.
Watson say they're on 3 on team. He was out there throwing like this is true.
Yeah.
This is very true.
Yeah, those ones on the sideline, man, were like way overthrown, and I don't know. It's just there's not much good to take away other than our return guy, our punter. Hopkins hit the 51-yard field goal. So I'm trying to find any bright spots to carry over.
No, Dak will never be Poppy. Ooh. All right. Let that go.
Yeah, he got paid.
That's right. He got paid. He absolutely got paid. Now, the Cowboys, they came in here and they stomped a mud hole in our ass. Period, point blank. So we're on to Jacksonville. But it's just the fact that it happened and it just did not look good. Did not look good. There was no fight. There was no energy. There was no nothing. And that's bothersome. Very bothersome.
Yeah. So more turnovers.
Good. Shout out to everybody commenting, but I will never. Ain't no man Poppy but me. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to once again give credit to all the Browns fans out there, that, including yourself, Clarence, how much money you guys spent and time, and the parking, the alcohol, the food, hopefully the enjoyment of each other's company before the game, anyways, and then maybe getting a high five a little bit during the game made it worth the trip. But I am very conservative now of when I attend Cleveland Browns games. I have to have a good gut feeling about going up there that it's going to be a good time. And so I'm still going to remain reserved and selective on the next game that I attend in person. Now, the Giants game you would hope would be the one, right? The one on the schedule that you look at and go, we should win that game. So it's huge to not go 0-2 and then have the Giants staring us in the face at our place. And then all of a sudden the pressure's all on that we cannot absolutely go 0-3 before that 3-game road trip. So,
well, I picked the Browns to lose this game. I just didn't expect it to be like this. I just didn't.
I mean, that's 100% fair statement. It's just, but it's more, like I said, more of the same. The way it's coming off training camp, coming off preseason, just lackluster. I don't know. Do we go back to West Virginia next year? Is it even worth going down there for that week or two that we're down there? It seemed to work last year.
The shit looks like it did the season before and the season before that. So what the hell is going on down there? Like, should
we go to Arizona where the Guardians have spring training and have our training camp? Hell, I don't know.
We may as well keep their asses in Berea.
So speaking of that, since we are the Land Sports Show, I'm going to throw in a quick interruption and let the Guardians, who lost 2 out of 3 in L.A., they are in Chicago tonight facing the White Sox. They are up 5-0 against a 100-loss team already. The Fighting Grady Sizemores not having a good season. And then also Monday Night Football right now, the Jets are up 7-6 with 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. If you want some Monday Night Raw stats, I am not caught up to find out who's been on that, but I'll probably watch that. As you know what? Usually Monday Night Raw doesn't disappoint the same way that our Browns do.
You're damn right. Yeah, I've been trying to just look at my fantasy stats. That's like I'm winning 3 out of my 4 games. I'm in 4 leagues this year. I need to drop one, but it's just not happening. So I'm trying to watch my fantasy stats to take my mind off of the hot garbage that I watched yesterday. That's all I got, man. I'm still annoyed. I'm gonna just sleep this one off again. I think all the alcohol's out of my system. Well, most of the alcohol's out of my system from Sunday.
We can change the subject too. Let's say that. Let's announce if you didn't hear, Tristan Thompson is back again for another round with the Cavaliers for next season. He did re-sign with the team. So there's our Cavs news outside of Donovan Mitchell being in the Muni lot. So Cavs season will be here before you know it too.
Oh, you know what? You know what I just figured out? It's Monday Night Football. It's on ESPN and ABC, right? I can't even watch this.
Yeah, yes. Why?
I can't even watch it because DirecTV is in this battle with them, and I got nothing.
Switch to YouTube TV. I'm telling you.
I'm considering it because this is just ridiculous. All right.
So do we feel better? Did we get it out of your system then? Are you going to be okay through the rest of the week?
Nah, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. A fully sober sleep. Maybe that's what it needs to get it completely out of my system. But that was just we're on to Jacksonville. I don't want to see that shit again. But something's got to give, man. Something's got to give. Anything.
I guess we're going to find out. Everybody's going to tune in Sunday, watch the game. And, Clarence and I have talked about maybe jumping on late after some of these games, getting together, do some Browns talk. So if you guys are interested in jumping in with us, we'd appreciate it and get your takes in there. So thank you to Ruben and Banny for jumping in on our chat tonight. Just continue to follow Believe Land Media. All of our coverage right now, we are hot and heavy covering high school football all through Northeast Ohio. The guys are doing a great job. In fact, shout out to all of them that were out there Friday night in the rain, covering the best they could. Absolutely great job, guys, on that, and representing Believe Land. Seeing those red Believe Land Media polos in the pictures and video too. But yeah, keep following Believe Land Media for high school football coverage. We might have some Akron Rubber Ducks playoff coverage coming up as well. So just keep staying tuned, and we appreciate you supporting the Land Sports Show tonight. And Clarence, I was glad to jump in with you tonight and have the Brown and Orange Weekly reunion with you.
That's right. That was good. It was a good time. As always, I wish it was under better circumstances, but it is what it is. We'll bounce back. We're Browns fans, like we. It's not like we haven't been kicked before, and we haven't been down before. We'll bounce back. Let's just go out. Let's bust Jacksonville's ass and try and get the ball rolling. As usual, last thing I gotta say, just everyone be kind to one another. Be kind to one another. You don't know what somebody else is going through. So please, 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 it's easier to be nice than it is to be an asshole. So be kind to one another. That's all I got.
Yeah, no personal fouls out there, you jackasses.
That's right.
All right, well, thanks for joining us tonight on the Land Sports Show. We'll plan on being back next week at 8 o'clock. Like I said, if Clarence and I can sneak in, maybe on after Sunday's game, we'll look to do so. But thanks again for your support. Clarence, thanks for jumping in tonight. And thank you, everybody, for watching and tuning in tonight. Go Browns, go Guards, go Cavs. Good night, everybody.